Housing.
Good evening, everyone, council members. I do have a report this evening for both building and housing. In January, I was asked to take administration over the housing department as well as the building department. That is why. So a brief update for the building department on some projects. The Gateway project for John Carroll is about halfway done. They're completing the framing and they'll be moving on the mechanical, electrical and plumbing and fire systems. So about halfway done so far. Urban Air has begun alterations in the bell tower facilities. They're currently doing demolition. That is a play park. And all these demolition of the Waterstone should begin sometime middle of February. And the construction of the new grocery store should start in March. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Bartley.
And report for housing is, it's been 30 days since the transition, and reorganization. We're, just currently evaluating all the current processes that the building in the housing department, meeting with each staff individually. One of the main things we're focusing on now, something simple, is just to come up with a mission statement. I expect to have something like that next week. We have a goal. I have a vision for the department to be very open. I would like to establish a digital environment, primarily so that we can report our activities in real time on a website. So if somebody wants an update on what we're doing in regards to the complaint they put in or the violation they received, they would be able to do that. So it would be, like I said, a link on our website so that they would be able to access all of our work and get updates, including council members. So that way we're transparent and showing everybody what we're doing. The idea is to have a code enforcement side and an outreach side of housing, to help people fix their house, not just penalize them for it. We're trying to hire a new housing coordinator to help with this. We've actually extended an offer to somebody today. That's the report. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Bartley.
Mhm.
Next up, the city engineer. Is there a report? Thank you. And then finally, communications.
You have probably seen, we've had lots of opportunities to communicate with our residents about snow, no salt, water main breaks. So we're trying to make sure that we are doing that in a timely fashion to keep everybody safe. We're also hoping to put some final touches on our senior programming. You're going to hear something tonight. So we're closing in on that. I hope so we can have a better report soon. Also trying to supplement our library with some more Topic Tuesday program. Mosaic is probably halfway ready to go to press. It'll be out in March and it'll cover our spring and summer activities. And in addition, if you have any questions and any story ideas, I'm trying to focus on meeting with a lot of wonderful people, a lot of wonderful organizations in our city, places that serve our residents. And you'll be reading about those as well. Okay, any questions?
Thank you. All right, now we're on to the regular agenda items. We've already gone through 9A, which was the swearing in of Mr. Councilman Wiseman. Next is resolution honoring Black History Month. And before us, everybody should have a copy of resolution 2026-19. I would like one of my colleagues who helped piece this together to be the one to read it, if you're comfortable, or you could tag team, or we can.
Could I just say one quick thing?
Yes.
I really appreciate Ms. Thomas, Ms. Marshall, and Mr. Stokes who put this together. It was very important to me that they did this as opposed to any other council member. So thank you.
You want me to read
You
it?
got the floor.
Okay. Resolution 2026-19 honoring February as Black History Month. Whereas the city of University Heights is a community that values its diverse population and celebrates the many cultures, backgrounds, and histories of its residents. And Black History Month is a time to celebrate the far-reaching contributions made by Black Americans throughout our country's history and have shaped our nation and our city for the better. And the origin of Black History Month can be tracked back to 1926 when Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the son of formerly enslaved persons, and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, which he co-founded, declared the second week of February Negro History Week, and expounding upon the work of Dr. Carter G. Woodson, Black History Month was first proposed by Black educators, students, and Black United Students Group at Kent State University in 1969. In 1970, the first celebration of Black History Month took place at Kent State, and 6 years later, in 1976, was recognized by President Gerald Ford, urging Americans to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. And contributions by Black Americans have influenced all facets of society, from culture to religion, from education to business and public service, and more. The Association for the Study of African American Life and History, founded by Carter G. Woodson, has designated 2026 as the Century of Black History commemoration, marking 100 years of organized study, preservation, and celebration of African American history, culture, and contribution. And whereas it is our honor to acknowledge and celebrate the heritage, perseverance, and achievements of Black Americans in our nation's history. We acknowledge their struggle as an American struggle, and at its core reflects upon our society. And whereas the city of University Heights affirms its commitment to naming and dismantling othering, particularly racism, and recognizes that Black residents are vital, valued, an inseparable part of the city's civic, culture, and economic life. And whereas while we celebrate and recognize Black leaders, inventors, artists, musicians, and creators on a national level, such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, George Washington Carver, Jackie Robinson, Billie Holiday, and many more, we also acknowledge those locally who have contributed to the rich history of our community in Cuyahoga County and Ohio. And in Cuyahoga County in Ohio, we have many heroes to look up to and learn from. From transformative leaders of the past, like Carl B. Stokes, the first Black mayor of a major American city, Louis Stokes, the first Black person elected to the United States Congress from Ohio, George Washington Williams, the first Black elected official in the state of Ohio, Sarah J. Harper, the first African American woman to serve on the Ohio Court of Appeals, Jean Merrill Capers, a civil rights attorney and first African American woman elected to the city council and longtime judge of Cleveland Municipal Court, and Stephanie Tubbs Jones, the first African American and first woman to serve as Cuyahoga County prosecutor, the first Black woman elected to the United States Congress from Ohio, to trailblazing leaders of today, such as Marcia Fudge, who served as U.S. Representative of Ohio's 11th Congressional District and 18th United States Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and Chantel Brown, the current representative of Ohio's 11th Congressional District. And now therefore be it resolved that University Heights recognizes the month of February as Black History Month and the importance of Black History Month as an opportunity to reflect on the complex history of the United States while remaining hopeful and confident about the path ahead. Be it further resolved that University Heights City Council and Mayor of University Heights remain dedicated to dismantling racial inequality while advancing equity and justice to all. Be it further resolved that University Heights is committed to to continuing the progress made throughout Black history, but also to ensure a positive Black future. We create history every day, and if we work together to make our today better than yesterday, our tomorrow will only be that much brighter. Be it further resolved, the theme for Black History Month 2026 is Black History and Wellness. We have the opportunity and responsibility today to not only reflect on the obstacles overcome, but to also make the present a time where Black Americans continue to excel and thrive.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Anybody else like to say anything? I have 2 copies here of the resolution. This is for everybody to sign. I'll distribute this. So we will also take a vote on the resolution to put the vote on this. Yes, okay, so we'll vote on this resolution, and I will also pass out the 2 resolution hard copies for everyone's signature. First, before we go to a motion, is any other discussion? If not, is there a motion to adopt resolution 2026-19?
So move.
Motion by Ms. Weiser, is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Stokes. Any discussion on the motion? If not, I'll have the council please call roll.
Ms. Weiser?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Sack?
Aye.
Mr. Rock?
Aye.
Ms. Marshall?
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman?
Aye.
Mr. Stokes?
Aye. And that has passed. Item C, presentation and motion to accept the memorandum of understanding with community partners in aging. Turn this over to Mayor, who has a presentation. Yes, you want to come forward?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am Wendy Satin, the Director of the Community Partnership on Aging, and we have presented you with a memorandum of understanding for services for the year of 2026 for senior services for the city of University Heights. I know that you've all received it. Do you have any questions or any clarification on the memo?
Do you want to give us an overview? or-
Okay. So the Community Partnership on Aging is a 50-year-old agency that was formed by 3 cities to provide services for the older residents of those cities. Over the years, we have grown to now have 7 cities. University Heights would be the 8th. We deliver services that range from social work to transportation, to meals, to programming, to volunteer services. Basically, we are aware of the challenges and the opportunities for older adults to stay in their homes as long as possible and as safely as possible, and we assist them in doing that. The way we deliver services is by coming to the city and delivering the services at the city. We have a team of social work professionals that will be available to University Heights residents, and that will be for any type of issue around benefits and long-term care planning. And the list, of course, goes on and on. what the social workers are there for is to assist people navigating the processes and procedures of when you get older. The other piece that we are proposing for University Heights is programming. I've already met with the library and it looks like the programming will be given, made available to the community at the library. What I want to do first is a survey so that I know what the residents of University Heights, the older residents of University Heights are looking for as far as programming. We will hire the instructors, we will manage the programs, we will be on site when the programs come to pass. And hopefully this is the beginning of a long and fruitful partnership with the city of University Heights to ensure that the older residents of University Heights have their needs recognized and met.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for presenting. This is kind of completing one of 4 aspects of our senior service programming going forward. So we have our transportation service, which we've had for many, many years. The library has offered senior programming in the past. We are supplementing that with more extensive programming through Community Partners on Aging. We also have the social services part, which I think is so important for our residents. And I know the police chief and the fire chief are very excited about that as well. And we could talk, you could mention, you know,
Thank you for
that
reminding
answer.
me. Yeah.
And then finally, our programming at the Cleveland Heights Community Center, which the city will be paying for any senior that wants to use their senior center. It
Mhm.
will be free to them. So we have a complete package now of services for our seniors.
You do. Congratulations. It's so important. A lot of older residents feel like they aren't heard or they aren't seen anymore. And this is a great 4-pronged approach to negating that. Thank you, Mayor, for reminding me. One of the pieces of our social work service, besides the actual social workers, is that we create a closed loop referral system with the first responders, with the fire department and the police department. And our social workers are there for several purposes. The first is to deal with more sensitive or complex situations that a social worker's touch is needed when first responders are dealing with a call. The second is we have a very robust fall prevention program. And what that entails is we will review with the fire department what we call frequent fallers. These are people who keep calling the fire department for what is called a lift assist, where they fall down, they can't get up, and they call EMS to come pick them up off the floor. It's expensive for the city. It's not healthy for the older adult. And what we do is we come in and we develop a fall prevention strategy and program for that person. That could be modifications like grab bars and railings and things like that. It could be exercise. It could be attending classes to balance, improving your balance classes, things like that. And most importantly, it's creating a relationship with our fall prevention coordinator so that you have somebody to coach you and to support you and to encourage you to become less of a fall risk. It has been shown that we are seeing less lift assist calls, and therefore we are saving the city very desperately needed resources and ensuring that EMS is going out on calls that are truly life threatening versus picking somebody up off the floor, which could be a big issue too. But we found that a lot of times people are repeat over and over and over again, 4, 6, 8 times a week, calling EMS to come to pick them up. And as one of my participants said, well, why wouldn't I call them? A nice, young, handsome man comes, picks me up. It's only one I see all week. And it's like, yeah, no. So that's why we developed this very comprehensive fall prevention program. And we are bringing a pilot program to University Heights that includes a full report, a full home assessment, a full report, coaching afterwards, and it's being implemented by a registered occupational therapist. So this is a new part of a new branch of our fall prevention programming. We want to see how this very comprehensive report is received by the residents and whether or not they will refer to the report for future fall risk reduction.
See a couple hands. Start with Ms. Weiser.
Um, Mayor, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your outreach and identifying a partnership with the partnership, especially in this area. I believe I've spoken to you. I had a call the other week about neighbors that are attempting to assist an 89-year-old resident who lives on her own, who has been is highly functioning, able to drive, but now is starting to run into some problems where it's like the neighbors don't have the expertise that this part of your program would offer to that resident. And I think the partnership and joining with the partnership would be excellent. And I hope as time goes on and if we can find additional funding, that we could at some point also include some of your other services that I'm aware of that I think would be great. And I also think it's a wonderful thing where because cities got together and decided to create a thing together, we can do more united than
Mhm.
one city can do alone. So I'm really, really happy for this and I'm delighted to support it.
I appreciate that. And it's an amazing model of municipal cooperation. When the mayors meet quarterly, we talk about issues for the agency. And there really isn't anything like this anywhere else in the country where we have so many cities working together for 50 years for the improvement of life for their older residents. So I'm pretty proud to be associated with it too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Councilperson Sachs.
Thank you. Thank you to the mayor for bringing this collaboration together. And thank you so much for your work. Having worked with older adults for pretty much most of my career, I think this really fills a gap that is much needed. I'm curious about a couple of things. How we're going to publicize and reach the older adults so that they know how to access. So that's something I'm looking forward to hearing about in a way that older adults will be able to receive that information. Not everyone's on social media and all that.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's multiple ways to reach those folks and our folks and connect them. And perhaps we don't have to reinvent the wheel. You're working with 7 other municipalities. Perhaps they have some methods that, would be helpful to us.
Well, off the top of my head, I have been in contact with the communications here at University Heights, and we have been talking about that strategy. And there is, from what I understand, there are email lists that we can access. We also have a newsletter that right now is only available at the library, and we will put the newsletter out everywhere. So throughout University Heights, we have a team of people who deliver the newsletter. We still use a paper newsletter. People prefer that over, we have an electronic version too, but people like the paper. In the center of the newsletter is a calendar of events. So we're going to keep bringing home the message that we are here for you and this is what you have. I also see Jeff Perkowski, and we will publicize it through the Sun Press, which has a very strong readership of older adults. And then we will talk, the mayor and I have been talking a little bit about maybe a direct mailing or something like that. So to kind of pinpoint the population that will but most benefit from CPA services.
I think that's wonderful, and we'll see how that goes. I'm also interested, so it sounds like you do outcomes reporting for falls prevention.
Right.
I'm curious if you do that for all the other aspects of your programming, so we know when we could get some feedback, perhaps if there are grant opportunities, as Councilwoman Weiser said, there are other aspects that perhaps and some feedback on those outcomes reports could be very helpful for
Absolutely.
getting funding. Thank you.
We have multiple funders. Each one has its own database that we have to populate. And then we have an internal database too. We track every single person who comes in touch with us, whether it's through social work or it's through programming or anything else. We do satisfaction surveys. We also do, which we probably should talk about, hunger risk assessments. We do all kinds of analysis of our folks and then we track them because our funders do require that of us. So I have a person and that's pretty much her entire job is putting numbers in different places and then analyzing them.
So.
And then I present that to the mayors at the beginning, like we will be presenting it in our February meeting to the mayors, and then they get a full report of how many people, who did what, and the outcomes.
Phenomenal. I happen to be a registered dietitian also, so that is close to home as well. And that's
Okay.
critical.
Yeah, and I'll get your name, so, okay.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Any other questions? Not, is there a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding?
Just to clarify, two documents go together, the memorandum of understanding with the Community Partnership on Aging and the Council of Governments agreement. So the Council of Governments, we're agreeing to be part of the Council of Governments with the other communities
Oh, I
that,
see.
funds the
Mhm.
fees for the Community Partnership on Aging. It divvies them up as far as populations. So we're approving both.
And is there a motion to approve both of those documents?
So move.
A motion by Mr. Stokes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Ms. Sacks. Any discussion on the motion? Not, will the clerk please call roll?
Ms. Weiser?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mrs. Jack?
Aye.
Mr. Rock?
Aye.
Ms. Marshall? Aye. Mr. Wiseman?
Aye.
Ms. Weiser? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
Thank you.
Ready to go.
Great.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you so much for presenting that. Okay, item D, resolution 2026-16, which authorizes the mayor to enter into an agreement with Clemens Nelson and Associates Incorporated for the provision of human resources, consulting, and labor council services. This is introduced by the mayor.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rock. So there's two pieces here. One is our HR contract, which expired in December. All of the directors have responded that they were extremely happy with Clemens Nelson in terms of any of their HR benefits and advice. I would say legal advice that they have given us. So I am recommending that we continue with them for our HR consultant. Furthermore, our RFQ produced 5 firms that sent in information for our labor council. They were scored by Mr. Bryan, who was the director that was tasked with that. And overwhelmingly, Clemens Nelson was ranked the highest. A few reasons, their price was competitive, but more importantly, they already know the city. And it will be a very easy transition because they know what is missing or what needs to be added in terms of our union negotiations. So I am recommending Clemens Nelson also for that.
And since you mentioned that these are in two parts, I'm assuming that's why we're seeing two different amounts here, the 75 and the 70, one for the general services of HR and the other one for the legal
Right,
labor
it's a
council.
single contract and the HR maximum amount of the contract is the same as last year, so that is not increased at all. And I'm adding in the labor negotiations component. The fees are capped at $70,000. That doesn't mean we're going to pay them that much or incur that amount of fees. We just don't know if the contracts are going to be settled. Just in the initial stages of negotiation, or if we're going to go to fact finding and then the next stage is conciliation.
Anybody have any comments on this? Ms. Weiser, you have a comment? No?
No, I was gonna make a motion to approve,
Go ahead.
then I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Weiser, second by Ms. Marshall. Any discussion on the motion? Will the clerk please call roll?
Ms. Weiser,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock.
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Thank you. Item E, motion appointing council member as alternate member to planning commission. For this particular item, I will be moving that we nominate councilperson Wiseman as the alternate member to the planning commission. Mr. Wiseman was on the planning commission prior to his departure from the city council for a number of years. It's been a tremendous asset to the planning commission and to this council. We had discussed previously amongst this council that I would continue my role as the primary planning commission member, just with my background in architecture. Currently, as of today, there are no registered architects on the planning commission, so that's why it was important that I continue in my capacity. But there are times when I will not be available, and by our ordinances, we can have an alternate member. And so I'm recommending that we bring back Mr. Wiseman as the alternate planning commission member. Sort of pick up where he left off, starting with the first meeting in February, which I've already asked him to be a part of. Anything that goes to the planning commission that gets approved by the planning commission does come to the city council for final approval. So everybody on council will still have a voice on projects that are recommended by the planning commission, but this just gets us a seat at the table. So I'm making a recommendation that we appoint Mr. Wiseman as that alternate member. Is there any discussion on that? I will move that we approve Mr. Wiseman as the alternate member. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. King. Any discussion on the motion? If not, congratulations, Mr. Wiseman. If this goes well,
We need to call.
do you accept the nomination first?
I do, yes.
Okay, well, then we will go to a vote and then I'll congratulate you. Ms. Thomas, if you can call roll.
Ms. Weiser,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock.
Aye.
Ms. Marshall,
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye. Yeah. Then packets will be available very soon. You had those today, right? Okay, awesome. You will get your homework assignment this evening.
Thank you,
so
Mr. Vice
much.
Mayor.
Item F, motion to approve Mayor Weiss's appointment of Nora C. Bryant to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a term of 2 years through January 31st, 2028. I believe Ms. Bryant is in attendance back here. So first I'll turn it over to the mayor and then we will make nomination.
Yes, thank you. I nominated Ms. Bryan for a couple of reasons. Number one is she's an attorney. The BZA very much needs some legal expertise in some of the issues that come up. Secondly, she did apply for the vacant council seat, which, you know, bodes well in just in terms of her involvement. And she also happens to be on the finance committee. So she's an excellent candidate. She's smart. She's an asset to the city, and I hope that she's approved.
Thank you. Ms. Sacks.
Thank you. University Heights is really blessed to have so many talented residents who are interested in public service. And some of the reasons, there are many numerous reasons. I'm thrilled that Mayor Weiss has recommended Ms. Bryan, but her personal and professional experience make her very qualified and prepared to step into this role. Some of those aspects include she's worked for nearly a decade in public service for the prosecutor's office, currently serving as prosecuting attorney for Cuyahoga County in the Juvenile Division Special Victims Unit, advocating daily for the safety of one of our most vulnerable populations while balancing the rights of the accused. As such, she is skilled to address issues that require structured, objective, high-pressure decision-making, constant adherence to the law, and transparency under public scrutiny. Ms. Bryan works with tight timelines, complex processes, and technical literature, balancing bureaucracy, community advocacy, and justice, striving to have those she interacts with feeling respected, heard, and in addition, she's familiar with the complexities of the Ohio Revised Code, as well as civil and tax foreclosures, where she worked in the Suffolk County Prosecutor's Office. So based on this and more, I want to make a motion to approve Mayor Weiss's appointment of Nora Bryan to the University Heights Board of Zoning Appeals, the BZA, for a term of 2 years through January 31st of 2028.
There is a motion
Second.
on the floor. There's a second. Any discussion on the motion? I will just say this, Ms. Bryan, I got my start in public service on the Board of Zoning Appeals a long while ago. And so it's a rewarding experience. And I want to say one thing that stood out to me was your knowledge in the community and the homework that you did to research issues in the community. And I think that would be a tremendous asset to the board. It's a great opportunity. One thing I want to also preface is being a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals allows you to be also a member of the zoning, comprehensive zoning redo subcommittee. So included in that committee are members of Planning Commission, Architecture Review Board, Council Administration, and Board of Zoning Appeals. So you will also have a seat at that table. We meet on the second Monday of every month. Next meeting is next Monday, and we're currently redoing our zoning. So as you review cases before you, you'll see things that are maybe problematic or opportunities that for improvements and that you can bring to the table. So there is a motion, a second. Any additional discussion?
Yeah, I hate to be the one that has to do this. We eliminated the second Monday meeting because that used to be economic development, because we sent this to the other committee that isn't structured yet.
No, we're going to do it through committee of the whole. And
Committee
so-
of the whole.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're doing a committee of the whole on the
Correct.
second Monday of the, okay.
correct.
Thank you. I just needed clarification.
Absolutely.
And if Miss Bryan would stand up, people would know who she is.
All right. So there's a motion, a second. Any other discussion? If not, will you please call roll?
Ms. Weiser,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall,
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
Congratulations. Item G, motion to accept the 2026 Preventative Maintenance Funding Program grant. I think our city engineer could fill us in on that one.
So the county, Cuyahoga County, they offer this preventative maintenance grant every year. And it's more for smaller maintenance, preventative maintenance measures on county roads. So we have been applying for it and we have been receiving money. They don't pay for everything. They pay for the materials, and then the city would be responsible for the labor. And it's usually wrapped up in with the street repair program every year. So last fall, after I consulted with Alan, Mr. Pennington, the service director, we came up with 2 spots that could use some work. South Taylor Road, there was a partial depth repair area near the shopping center, close to Cedar Road. And then we will finish up the crack sealing on on Green Road. So we did receive our award for the total of materials, $34,000. And then the labor is about the same amount, a little bit more, a little bit less. 500 is what I estimated it as. So then you always apply for your reimbursement the following year. So this spring I'll apply for last year's. Last year's we did crack sealing on 2 roads, Silsby and part of Green. So, are there any questions?
Mr. King?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So both of these roads we share with other communities. Is this on
Just, yeah.
our side of the road?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
thank
on
you.
the University Heights side. Yes.
thank you.
Mayor?
And this will also help alleviate, we budgeted $50,000 for crack sealing, so this will lower our actual responsibility for that.
That's great. Any other comments? For a motion to accept the grant? Motion by Mr. Stokes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wiseman. Any discussion on the motion? Not, will the clerk please call roll?
Ms. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
Item H, this is resolution 2026-15, authorizing the mayor to enter into First Amendment to the city's professional service agreement with ZoneCo LLC. It's being introduced by myself, and I discussed this a little bit in the finance committee. So ZoneCo is the professional service company that is assisting us with the comprehensive zoning redo. The original contract spelled out the number of hours and time, et cetera, and scope. They had met that level of hours and scope, and there's additional work that needs to be done to tighten this up and get this completed this year. Included in that will be, we have our committee meetings every month. So the administration, myself, the chairperson of the committee of the whole, will be having monthly calls with ZoneCo to fill them in on the feedback that we receive. They will be doing another draft for us, potentially another couple drafts. They will be having 2 meetings with the council to present and 1 additional town hall. As part of that scope, it's an additional 25,000. Our goal is to have this complete this year. That's all I have to share on that. Mayor, do you have anything to add?
You covered everything.
Any questions on that? Is there a motion to accept the resolution?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Marshall, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Stokes. Any discussion on the motion? Not, will the clerk please call roll?
Ms. Weiser,
Aye.
Mr. King.
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
And item I, resolution 2026-17, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Safe Build Ohio LLC for construction and building inspection, technical support, plan review, code review, and other similar services on an as-needed and requested basis. I'll turn this over to the mayor.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. As everybody knows, we have brought the building commissioner, who was formerly an employer of Safe Built in-house. He is now, he also has the housing department under him. There might be a time in the future where we might be down an inspector, or we might need some planning type services, and this contract will cover us to have a per diem rate and employee. Currently, we have no need for this, but it just basically covers us in the situation where we do need these services.
And I would like to say that I talked to Safe Build. It looks like you guys don't have the latest version. There were 2 small changes that I got them to agree to. The term of the agreement will start, I think it was April 5th or April 6th, whenever the current agreement expires, and go for 3 years rather than, so that's section 5. As to when it's fully executed. So it's gonna match up with the expiration of the other agreement. And there's a cap, in section 7 that it $74,999 cannot be expended without the further authorization of council, just so we're covered under the professional services ordinance.
So if their original contract goes through April, then what about for compensation? Are we still paying?
Mr.
Through-
Bartley?
We're paying Mr. Bartley, yeah, but I'm talking about for Safe Built, if their contract goes through
Any permits that are taken out until
until
April
April.
5th, they finish the project.
Gotcha.
Same arrangement.
And so any permits that were filed even before today, they are going to continue the process. Any comments, questions? Is there a motion to accept resolution 26-17? Also moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Stokes. Any discussion on the motion? Will the clerk please call roll?
Ms. Weiser,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall,
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
Okay, letter J, motion to authorize the mayor to issue a request for architect statement of qualifications for the design and administration of a new fire and police station on city's existing Warrensville Center Road campus. First, turn this over to the mayor.
Yes, thank you. And if anyone has any specific questions, the law director and also Mr. Everard are here to answer anything. This is continuing the process of our facilities planning. We do need an architect of record, and this will be an RFQ that will be sent out. It will be ranked appropriately and then brought back to council for approval as well. Just to remind everyone, we already have selected an owner's rep. So again, this is moving this project along.
Anybody have any questions for either the administration or the former chairperson of the facilities committee who's in attendance? Guess we're ready to go then, right? Okay, well then I will make a motion to authorize the mayor to issue a request for architect statement of qualifications.
I'll second.
Seconded by Ms. Sacks. Any discussion on the motion? If not, will the clerk please call roll?
Ms. Weiser,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
Hey, item K, this is ordinance 2026-12, extending the moratorium on sidewalk repair and replacement citations and enforcement actions and declaring an emergency. This is being presented on emergency. And Councilperson Weiser is the sponsor of this. So I'll turn over to Ms. Weiser.
This motion comes out of Building and Housing Committee. We had a previous moratorium that expired on December 31st. We are still in discussion about how to set up a sidewalk program, what it will look like. Unfortunately, at the last meeting, Mr. Bartley was unable to attend. He was ill. We didn't have some information that we needed. So we will be back hard at work on that this month again. However, we needed to extend the moratorium so people know that we're not going to actually enforce anything until we get that program in place. We felt it's safest, especially for residents that may have been cited for sidewalks where the break in the sidewalk or the lifting of the sidewalk has been caused by city trees or city work that had occurred. So this is just a moratorium, which will run it back through April 30th. And then hopefully before then, we'll be ready to go with the new program.
Ms. Sacks.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just want to thank Councilwoman Weiser for sending out a comparison of what other municipalities are doing. It just helps prepare to put it into perspective.
That was prepared by the housing department.
Well, thank you for sharing it.
Well, we got it late and needed to get to everybody to take a look at. There's additional information that I'm trying to put together before the meeting to build that out a little bit more. It's just skin and bones right now. The big thing is going to be the potential cost for the program, which is currently not in the 2026 budget.
Mhm.
But perhaps when we have that next finance committee meeting, we need to add some money for it. Yes, we should.
Any other
So-
comment?
I'd make a motion to approve
I'll second.
wait a minute, make a
Wait.
motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second that.
Okay, so there's a motion by Ms. Weiser, seconded by Mr. King to suspend the rules. Will the clerk please call roll on that?
Ms. White,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Ms. Sacks,
Aye.
Mr. Rack,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall,
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman.
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
And do you have a motion?
A motion to approve ordinance 2026-12 on emergency.
Seconded.
Motion by Ms. Weiser, seconded by Mr. King to approve this on emergency. Any discussion on that motion? If not, will the clerk please call roll?
Ms. Weiser,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rack,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman.
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
Okay, item L, ordinance 2026-13, establishing sections 1480.17 of the city housing code pertaining to exterior lighting on residential properties. This is on first reading. Sponsor, Ms. Weiser, has the floor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This also sort of came out of building and housing. However, tonight I've sent an email out to all of council. I'm going to make a motion to refer it back to building and housing for the following reason. We had a resident send a rather extensive email about potential issues that he was concerned about. And a number of details, which I forwarded on to Mr. Bryan. Mr. Bryan and I have had a series of discussions about it. We believe we just need a small tweak to the existing ordinance. And we will discuss that and deal with that in the building and housing meeting before the next council meeting. And hopefully we can refer this back out to council with an amendment so that we can get this moving. What this basically is, we had a number of complaints from residents where people have put up like exterior lights over their garages or maybe a basketball court, where the lights are so bright, they are now shining into the neighboring houses. And it becomes a bit of light pollution. And we had nothing in our codes that would allow the city to do any action to bring this under control. So that is why this particular ordinance was prepared. But this is just for tonight, to refer it back to building and housing for further, I'd move to refer it back to building and housing for further consideration and amendment.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to refer this back to Building and Housing Committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wiseman. Any discussion on that motion? If not, will the clerk please call roll?
Ms. Weiser,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Rack,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman.
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Aye.
Thank you. So that will be referred. Item M, which is ordinance 2026-14, amending section 1480.11, the city housing code pertaining to basement rooms. This is on first reading. I will turn over the floor to the sponsor, Councilperson Weiser.
I just love to give council work to do. No, actually, this is an ordinance that was generated by the number of request to BZA, the zoning appeals board, the Board of Zoning Appeals, about basement rooms. And they had established a pretty set the series of things that they would use to grant the permits or the variance for and the permit. When they did that, the person had to keep coming back each year. And our inspectors had to go out each year. So consequently, in discussion between BZA, the mayor, and then the mayor and myself, we decided that this might be something that we wanted the law director to take a look at and see if it would be appropriate to put this into our codes. Basically, these are the recommendations out of BZA. And so we'll codify it that begins to reduce the amount of work then that BZA is dealing with, because these things come up all the time. Number two, it says very clearly to anybody who looks at the housing code exactly what is required if you want a basement bedroom. We did verify, there was one question during the course of the discussion, if we had done anything about basement kitchen facilities. No, those remain an item that has to go to BZA to get approval. That is in the code and is part of this. The committee at last meeting recommended that this be approved. We can leave it on first reading and approve it at the next council meeting, but that's exactly what it's going to be. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
And just a few items, at least from an architectural standpoint, that stood out for me in me wanting to support this is just like bedrooms on a second floor, you have to have two means of egress, or first floor. You have to have two means of egress, one through an exterior, so a window. So it would require a window well, and also one through the interior. In new housing codes, bedrooms are now have to be equipped with a smoke detector and CO2 detector. So that would be written in this code. Also, for any basement bedrooms, we would require the smoke and CO detectors. And that basement bedrooms shall not be listed for short-term rental property. So I thought that was important to note as well.
And you probably, when you were on BZA, put that into the list that we took from BZA and put into this. So it was already there.
Yeah. Well, this is on first reading. Is there any other comment? Any other? Mr. Wiseman?
When you say short-term rentals, that's 30 days or
Less than
60 days.
Less than a year, right?
Yeah, no, less than a month.
Less than a month.
Yeah, when it goes to 31 days, it becomes a contract and it's not covered under short-term rental.
Questions?
And we do have a short-term.
And it will start getting enforced, won't it, Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Bartley is going to be enforcing.
Okay, well, this is on first reading, so this will be appearing at the next meeting as well. I'll move on to item N, which is motion to enter an executive session for the purpose of discussing legal proceedings, personnel and real estate matters. I'm not aware of any reason to go into executive session unless someone else has a reason. If not, we are going to move on to reports of standing committees, starting with building and housing. Ms. Weiser.
Building and housing will meet before the next council meeting. We're one of the for those that don't know, we're one of the standing committees of council, and we always meet before the second council meeting each month. Obviously, we're going to be working on sidewalks, the sidewalk program. We will be looking at the revision to the exterior lighting ordinance. And there's a couple of other things that we might be able to get in on that agenda as well. So that's building and housing. With Mrs. Sachs's permission, since I'm chairing it, their building and housing and service and utilities meet jointly. We have finished the tree ordinance. We are almost completed with weeds. We have, Mr. Blakeman has made up a very extensive and wonderful guide for the natural, yes, natural landscape ordinance. Weeds is going to get revised to that. So on the 12th, we will have a meeting from 6 to 8. It's a joint meeting of building and housing and service and utilities. And we will pick up the items that we need formal motions on for revisions that we have already decided to do within the ordinance, so we can get a final draft ordinance done and hopefully one more joint meeting to approve it. And then we can schedule a public hearing on both of those ordinances to get it to the table to get those both approved.
It's great. Thank you. Community outreach.
No report, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. We have the open committee, which was formerly the Economic Development Committee. I've asked Mr. Wiseman to lead that one. We will be discussing what that committee will entail. And
No report, Mayor.
I figured there was no report.
Crystal ball.
No, but we will discuss that committee more at length on the retreat on the 10th. Next committee is finance. We had a meeting before this meeting at 6 o'clock to look at the latest draft of the budget, which had gone out today. I'm asking that people have time to review. I'm going to schedule another meeting. So this was not referred to today's council. It'll be referred to a future council meeting, hopefully in March. So I've already asked the clerk and assistant clerk, I gave them some dates. So tomorrow, if you could send out a poll so we can get that scheduled. And that'll give everybody time to review that. Next up is recreation. Is there a report?
No report.
Thank you. Safety.
No report.
Thank you. And service and utilities.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This Wednesday on February 4th at 6 p.m., Service and Utilities Committee will have a presentation by the Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District regarding Resolution 2025-56, the MOU with UH for the provision of stormwater management provision services to the city and consideration of an agreement. We'll also have a discussion about composting and that program through Rust Belt Riders. Thank you.
Okay. And then committee of the whole, we will have a meeting next Monday on the 9th. We'll have it in this room at 6 o'clock since it's a larger group. We're going to pick up where we left off. We did not have a January meeting, but this is for the zoning, comprehensive zoning redo. Where we left off was on multifamily. We had discussed the university district. So we will pick back up on the multifamily. I think we still have to discuss more on the commercial area along Cedar. We called that community, another one of our zones. I'll get you that. But we still have to go through that. So my goal is to continue these discussions once a month. It's possible that we can approve sections of the zoning as opposed to doing it all at once. It may be prudent to do that as we'll have, feedback from the members here. And so it's possible that we can get things on the agenda sooner rather than later. But the goal is to have this complete by the end of the year.
So Vice Mayor, am I to understand that the committee of the whole is gonna meet every month now?
Once a month, yeah. For the purposes of the zoning. So this was originally the Economic Development Committee, which was meeting once a month. This is just taking that date so we can,
But this
continue those
requires
discussions.
everybody to be here if it's a committee of the
a
whole,
quorum,
right?
yeah.
Quorum.
Okay. Gotcha.
Said 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, yes. Reports of special special committees and taking of action thereon. I know there is a planning commission meeting on Thursday. So I'll can at least watch or attend because this will, if approved, come to the council meeting
What time is it at?
for the planning. It's that
7 o'clock. one item on the agenda.
Okay, item 11, unfinished and miscellaneous business. I'm not aware of any. And is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
A motion by Mr. Stokes to adjourn. I will second. Clerk, please call roll to adjourn.
Weiser,
Aye.
King,
Aye.
Stack.
Aye.
Mr. Rod.
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Mr. Wiseman,
Aye.
Mr. Stokes.
Thank you. We are adjourned. Time is 8:27 PM.